Coming. Yes.
You never get these NYU. They got me now.
Oh,
They got me now.
so Shawn's giving me a walkthrough through his apartment.
This is my room. My room. This is my bathroom. Go in the bathroom. They go to the bathroom. My bathroom.
He's very proud of his new space.
My
How long have you
roommate's
been
room.
living in here? And
About 3 months.
a couple of.
Oh, no. Actually, a month and a half. Month and a half, 2 months.
So you've been
My
living here?
TV,
Mm-hmm.
my couch, my lamps, my tables. My kitchen's a messy kitchen, but I have to do some cleaning today.
It's okay. That's good. Clean. Yes.
You know, look, all brand new dishes, everything's brand new by the program. Stove, kitchen, everything.
So the stove provide you with this equipment.
Intercom for security.
Mm-hmm.
Have everything. I have nothing to ask for except I don't want a roommate. Because every time I get a roommate, there's issues, there's problems, and there's misunderstandings. I can't be misunderstood no more. I have to be understood.
So that one I'm recording you. And in the picture right here. Come this way. Alright. So, hi Shawn.
Hello, Tiffany Pryor.
Alright, so let's stop making me laugh. Alright, so we're gonna start by having you state your name and your age.
My name is Shawn Wayne Garfield Adi, and my age is 33 years old. My birthday is April 13, 1985.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Alright. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great.
Yeah?
Yes, stable on all my medication. Pop those pills, baby.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy you're feeling
Yes,
great
ma'am.
right now. What do you hope to get from telling your story?
Well, I hope to get from telling my story that somebody out there knows they're not the only one going through what I've been through, and somebody else may go through what I've already went through.
Okay.
And we're all going through changes in life.
We are. Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to give you an opportunity just to tell me a little bit about yourself, and you can feel free to express as much as you want in each of these scenarios. First, I want to start with a little bit of your history. Tell me about your parents and your family, your upbringing, your culture.
My upbringing was one of the most blessing upbringings a child could ever ask for. Mm-hmm. My father was an entrepreneur, owned a record company, still owns rights to the record company, even though it's not active as I speak right now. My father was born in England. My mother was born in Jamaica. And they met, they made me. The rest was history. But what I want to say is I love my father dearly. He was the true definition of a man. Raised all his kids on his own underneath the same roof. We didn't have to ask or want or beg for anything. He didn't believe in depend on somebody else. He believed in getting about there, going and get to provide for your family.
Okay. What about the neighborhood you lived in? Your environment? How was your
My environment was, I will always call it upper class, but it was middle class. It was an upper class for me and my siblings, yeah, because my father had a $2 million house or $1 million, 1.5. I don't know what it was at the time, but in those days it was like a $1.5 million house. He raised his children and we always had a good life. You know, we went to the best schools. We had the best clothes. We had the best food. Growing up, I had a nanny, by the way. I had a Spanish nanny. Never remember her name. Couldn't remember the 2 words she always said, except Marty and Shawn. That was my sister's name, Marty, a nickname. And I was a kid with a lot of energy. So they claimed they think I had ADHD, but my father said I didn't have none of that. But we don't know because we're not the doctors. So sometimes the child is diagnosed, sometimes it's misdiagnosed, sometimes it's not diagnosed. It all depends on the era of time and trial and error also. So I would like to say, basically I had a good childhood, very good childhood.
Okay, good. So you mentioned that as a child you think you had ADHD, but you weren't diagnosed or nobody said anything to you in regards to that?
Not until I got admitted to Kings County.
When was that?
Probably like a year ago. One of my admissions. I had a few admissions in different hospitals in different places. The social worker said, "Do you know you had ADHD as a child?" I said, "Excuse me?" And nobody never told me that. They said, "Why do you think you have so much energy and you multitask and you do things so well?" Because your parents put you in so many activities, they didn't know how to keep you still. They had to tire you out at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, you were still one of the children that weren't tired. They said, "That's why we love you at Kings County." I said, "I know you love me, but I don't love these cyclewoods."
So, when were you first diagnosed with, what's your diagnosis first?
Well, my diagnosis now is bipolar schizoaffective.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Bipolar you could have the ups, or you could have the lows, or you could have the in-between of both. Different emotions and different, episodes is what they use, episodes at the time. So what happens with schizoaffective, maybe you might have a little schizophrenia, but it's not fully schizophrenia. It's just that you may challenge your energy different. Because a full schizophrenic person might not be able to function like a schizoaffective person may be able to function. So they diagnose half bipolar and half schizoaffective. Schizoaffective disorder, that's what I should say. Right now I take medication. I take Prolixin injection. I take Prolixin pill. I take Ativan. I take Cogentin. And I take Integral.
All of those every day?
Every day, twice a day, every 12 hours I have to take them. The injection is monthly, and the pills are every 12 hours, one pill of each day.
And this is a new, what do they say, combination? Or this
Well,
is
the newest, I've always been on these things, but the newest combination is Integral. It's working very well.
You think so?
I think so, but I think that sometimes they might have to give me a little bit more increase. So they're working on, they're observing me right now in a weekly process. In my daily partial hospitalization program called PHP at Kings County to see if there's any changes in mood, behavior, thinking, rationalization, and stuff like that.
When were you first diagnosed?
I was first diagnosed, I think, in 2002 or 2003, if I'm not mistaken, one of the 2 years, because it was in between time periods.
How old were you?
I was about, can't remember the exact age. But if you do the math, I was born in 85, so 2002 to 2003 should give you the time period. It was after I sworn into the Army Reserves and got a contract, was shipped into basic training. I drilled with the Army, I did PT with them, I did paperwork with them, I sworn into Fort Hamilton, and I did about 8-9 months in the Army Reserve till I got discharged because I ended up in the psych ward after I received the contract with them. So I was a veteran at the time. Got honorably discharged under medical condition, but they didn't put that, they put general discharge. General means you're still under honor, you're still considered a veteran. Then about 2008, I went to the Marines.
You went back into the Army?
Yes, I saw a psych first, I saw a psych doctor for the Fort Hamilton that gave me a consult waiver that said that he's stable now, he can come back. So then I did 5-6 months into the Marines. On their paperwork, they only have 3-4 months. Now I'm seeing a Veterans Crisis Aid social worker at VA in 1st Avenue and 23rd Street. Her name is Kelly. So she's working on getting me my benefits, my housing, and everything else.
So the first time that you had any type of instability with bipolar and schizo effect was when after you were involved in the reserves.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then after that, you tried to go back to the Marines.
Correct, and I got through.
Okay.
You don't know how I did it, but
yeah,
I did it.
I did that. I was like,
got all the documents right there in that drawer.
I believe you. But why was that important? Why did you feel like you wanted to go back? Yeah. If you were there like, and you, to me, I don't know, but tell me what happened. Were you under a lot of stress? Like, walk me through, let's back up. Walk me through the day that it happened. Like the day, what happened?
Well, to be honest, in the Marines or the Army, because I had two breakdowns.
Let's go back to the breakdown for your first ever breakdown. That was in the Army?
Yes, Army
So let's
Reserve.
go back to your first ever breakdown. Walk me back through that day. What happened?
Well, I'll never forget that I was going through so many stresses in school. High school life in New York is one of the most stressful times of your life besides college. And I had a friend. Me and him had a fallout. His name was Troy. His real name is Shabazz Khan. But he also was in the Army with me. We joined together at the same base, Lefferts Boulevard Recruiting Station in Richmond Hill, New York, Queens. And we had some differences where, you know, he liked the girl, I liked the girl, we liked the same girl, we had differences. So one day I went up to this guy and said, hey, did you see my friend Troy? He said, get the F out of here. I don't care about Troy. He was a gang member, so-called gang member. So when I said, what do you say that about my friend for? F out of here, he tried to talk to my girlfriend, blase, whatever it may be. Then I said, you know what, man? I don't like your tone of voice with me, man. Do you know that because you in a gang, it don't make you better than me, it don't make you worse than me either. He started to put his hands up to me, wanted to fight me, but then he tried to fight my friend because he said when he see my friend, he's gonna hurt my friend. So now I started riling up, I'm in the Army, and it took like 30 gang members to call me out. That was my gang member friends. When the cops came, they didn't see that this guy had a little situation where he just needed somebody to speak to. They said, let me admit him to the psych ward, and they put me in the psych ward, and they injected me and doped me up. From there, I've been on medication ever since. Nobody to speak to or tell nothing.
So all of this happened. You were in the Army. You came home. You were looking for your friend Troy.
A guy cursed me out. Wanted to fight me. Wanted to fight him. I picked up for him basically. And the guy was a bully. He was bullying Troy. He was bullying me. So I took him on and all his gang member friends. And basically. The school principal saw that I needed counseling, which just to talk, not no psych ward counseling. The EMS came in to check my temperature. It was sky high, my pulse. They said, let's take him to Jamaica Hospital. When I got to Jamaica Hospital, they said, we're gonna give you somebody to speak to. They lied. They injected me right away and threw me behind closed doors with people going, I was like, oh my God, this is what I see in the movies. Is this really happening? So instincts kicked in. I started fighting the security guards and cops in Jamaica Hospital. They had to give me something to calm me down. I didn't know what it was. But since that day, I've been taking medication and that messed me up heavily.
My name is Tiffany Pryor. I am currently a student at New York University. I'm taking a course with Professor Peter Lucas called International Studies on Human Rights. And I decided to do a short film on, I guess, mental illness, but It's really on my cousin Shawn. So I just want to be transparent about that. Shawn is my cousin, and I've seen him go through a lot of ups and downs. And the time now was 3:55 on a Tuesday. I interviewed Shawn on a Sunday, and now I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about the interview. And so I'm just documenting, I guess, my thoughts and where I am in the process. I'm kind of whispering because my boys are sleeping. And I don't know how to really feel per se about the interview. I had the opportunity to visit his apartment for the first time. He's lived in many different places. This is his new apartment. He just recently was given, he's gone through several programs, and he stays in the programs, coming out of several different mental institutions here in New York, from those on Long Island to Queens, Brooklyn. He's been several places, and he said to me he wanted me to document his life and his experiences. So on Sunday I interviewed him, and then today he calls me and he's back in the hospital. Well, yesterday he called me on Monday night. I was coming home from work. I'm on the train. I see a call coming through from a weird number. I take it. And he is, not at his best. I just became, really saddened and disturbed by that. I guess that's what's keeping me up right now. Because for the past couple of months, I would say since July till present, we're now in November, he's just been in and out of the hospital more and more frequent. It's not like it was before, where it was like, okay, he would go in and they would come up with a new combination of medicine, and then he would come out and he would be out for 4 or 5 months before he ends up back in the hospital because he becomes stable. But now that is not the case over the past, I would say, 5 months, 5-6 months. And I try to keep up with him. I do. I try to keep up with him. Not just because we're family, but because, I see myself in Shawn. Something he said was that really struck a nerve with me, was that we all, he said 95% of the world, I don't want to misquote him, but if you listen to my interview with him, he said 95% of the world he would deem considered mentally ill. And I think about that thin line between sane and insane. There's so many days, we all struggle, we go through so many different things. I can't even, fathom, what it's like being, I guess, mentally unstable to the point where, you can't control your actions. And although you may want to, and you have this burning desire to act or respond differently to things, for whatever reason, you just can't. And Shawn Shawn is, I think he has a beautiful mind. I may be babbling at this point because so much is on my mind, right? This is more like a diary entry, but I'm going to add it because it's raw, it's uncut, it's really what I'm feeling. I was undecided whether or not this was going to be a reflective piece, and at this stage, because I cannot sleep, it has become that, and I'm just thinking to myself, I want to help. I don't know necessarily how to bring stability to him. He also said something in regards to being homeless and what homeless means, and the terminology he used. He said, you may have a home but still feel homeless because there may be nothing in your home. And he's right. Just because you have a home or you have somewhere to live, that doesn't make it home, I guess. And I really my heart goes out to Shawn. Shawn spells his name Shawn. And I'm married to Shawn, who spells it Sean. And my firstborn, his name is Shawn, which is also spelled Sean. So I definitely have a connection to Shawns all over the world, apparently. So I did decide to take on his story as my project because I wish there was something more I can do to help. I understand the vulnerability of mental illness, and I don't know, necessarily what to do. I don't know what are the right steps. But I'm hoping that maybe through this short film and what I've learned in this class on human rights, that something positive can come from this. And that's my hope for this short documentary, right? I don't know what can come from it. I'm kind of tearing up because seeing someone you love in a situation where you can't do it, there's not much you can really do. Not you can't do anything, but sometimes you feel like you can't do anything, and that within itself is sad. But I'm hoping from this video in short video where you just see Shawn and you hear the recording, that you can get a better understanding of people, that inside us all, we want the same things: love, happiness, to be treated with respect and dignity. And what happens when we're not, you can see that it breaks people. When trust is broken, or trust is taken away from a relationship, how that could break you. You know, a lot of what Shawn said, some of it, you know, is might be a bit embellished, you know, and some of it could have been masked by his desire to always do the right thing. He wants to be a hero. That's what I got from our interview, you know. He wants to be a hero. And I'm hoping that this can help, because he is a true soldier. He's fighting for his life every day. And I hope that his story has a happy ending. That's my hope for Shawn. That his story has a happy ending. Thanks for listening.